Hello and welcome, my name is Meeplus, they, she, he, and this is Literally Graphic. And today I reached my main 2021 reading goal, so I figured I would start putting together this video about my 2022 goals. I'll be doing a fourth quarter wrap-up and 2021 goal wrap-up video, either together or apart, once we have actually passed into the new year. First off, I'm actually going to be breaking a many-year tradition and raise my Goodreads goal a couple points to 100 books. It's just such a nice round number that I almost always inevitably meet. Obviously, this number will largely be made of graphic novels and audiobooks, although I can always hope the percentage of those books that are physical with no pictures increases. It's also looking like finding audiobooks for this year's goal might be slightly more difficult. Secondly, the region I will be focusing on in 2022 is Oceania, Pacific Islands, and because I'm an ill-educated American, the Philippines, Indonesia, Brunei, and East Timor. I am now aware that these last few countries are considered to be island nations of Southeast Asia, but the year I tried and failed to read 30 books by people from the continent of Asia, I thought these islands were part of Oceania, so I completely ignored them. For those new to my yearly goals, this means I will be trying to read 30 books by people who are either from this region or part of the self-identified diaspora. Thirdly, I would like to do some buddy reads this year. As this involves reaching out to other people, we shall see. If this strikes you as a good idea, feel free to contact me about it. Looking at the logistics side of things, aiming to read 3 goal books per month worked out pretty well this year. Obviously, if I actually stick to this goal, I'll overshoot my reading goal, but unsurprisingly, I did fall a bit behind in the second half of the year. But with the boost I had from New Year's enthusiasm, I was able to finish strong. As I've said already, it is looking like this year's audiobooks might be slightly less plentiful, so I think I'll set an intention to try and read 1 goal book in print every quarter as well. Obligatory yearly disclaimer. Obviously, just reading diversely will not bring the revolution, but I do think it's an important thing to talk about whenever one is talking at great length about reading, especially if you happen to be a white settler like myself who grew up in an extremely segregated community. It only seems logical, really, but won't happen naturally as long as people, myself and probably most of you, live in a white supremacist society that only wants to let white people tell stories. It's also fun and more interesting. Not saying I have this thing down pat either. I've found a system that mostly works for me, and I keep trying to push myself incrementally forward. On the comics side of everything, I really like how things ended up this year. I will definitely not be trying to do 4 videos a week in 2022. I liked taking September off, would recommend, and I like planning my reviews month by month because it does help me be a bit more timely and better balance all the different kinds of comics I want to read. I will admit that keeping a better eye on various comic awards has been a real crapshoot though. Some of them are good, but some of them are also pretty bad. In the rest of my life, I've been trying to organize all my wants and desires for this fresh new year into 10 categories. I have a pretty explicable desire to do all the things all at once. So my strategy this year is to try and pace myself and keep a focus on what I actually think is important. Will I succeed at this? Probably not, but it's been fun to think about, and that's an important thing right now. Some of these other things I hope to do include A, play all the Amanita design games I purchased on sale this year. B, host 3 meetings at work. C, do more geocaching. D, go camping at least twice. E, can something. And F, re-pierce my ears. Among many other more personal things, I have basically lost all ambition and am simply coping with the drug poisoning crisis, the continuing COVID pandemic, and impending climate collapse. Fun! Thank you to everyone else who posts their New Year's goals on YouTube. As I mentioned last year, it's one of my favorite kinds of videos. Bye y'all, keep reading, and organize to end capitalist depression. And as always, Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.